Welcome back to Onion News, where we navigate the twists and turns of current affairs with a sprinkle of satire. I'm your host, Tucker Carlson. Today, we're wading into the continuous waters of marijuana legalization. Joining us today is Carter Hutchins, a staunch advocate for traditional values and a close observer of current-day legislative developments. Over to you, Carter.
Hi, thank you for having me on.
Great. Carter, let's just dive right into it. What's your perspective on the legalization of marijuana?
I stand firmly against the legalization of marijuana. This stance is not merely ideological. It's grounded in the tangible risks posed by widespread drug use, particularly amongst our youth. As a nation, we must prioritize the well-being of our citizens over the allure of recreational indulgence of drugs.
What a clear stance, Carter. Could you delve into the legislative measures taken by conservatives and Republican administrations regarding marijuana policy?
Certainly. Let's journey back to the Nixon era with the Controlled Substances Act of 1970.
Great.
President Richard Nixon signed this comprehensive legislation into law, establishing marijuana as a Schedule I controlled substance alongside drugs like heroin and LSD. This marked a significant escalation in the federal government's war on drugs and set the stage for subsequent anti-drug initiatives.
A pivotal moment in the drug policy history, Carter. What other legislative efforts have shaped the landscape of marijuana policy today?
Fast forward to the Reagan administration, and we encounter the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986. This legislation, spearheaded by Ronald Reagan, who was president at the time, intensified the crackdown on drug offenses and imposed stringent penalties for marijuana-related crimes. It underscored the administration's commitment to combating drug abuse and safeguarding communities from the harms of addiction.
A sobering reminder of the punitive measures enacted in the name of drug control, Carter. How have subsequent Republican leaders addressed current-day marijuana policy?
President George H.W. Bush continued the anti-drug crusade with initiatives such as the Office of National Drug Control Policy Reauthorization Act of 1988. This legislation fortified federal efforts to combat drug trafficking and promote drug-free communities, reinforcing the administration's steadfast stance against drug abuse.
Thank you for providing such rich and detailed historical context, Carter. Looking ahead, what role do you see conservative values playing in shaping future marijuana policy?
Conservative values emphasize personal responsibility, family cohesion, and respect for the rule of law. These principles are incompatible with the normalization of drug use and the erosion of societal norms. Moving forward, we must uphold these values and resist the pressures to legalize these dangerous drugs.
Thank you, Carter, for sharing your perspective overall and shedding light on the legislative landscape surrounding marijuana policy. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us on Onion News, where we explore the headlines with depth and discernment. Until next time, this is Tucker Carlson, signing off. Welcome back to Onion News. I'm your host, Tucker Carlson, your source for cutting-edge commentary and a sprinkle of satire. Today, we're delving into the dynamic landscape of marijuana legalization. Joining us today is Azan, a vocal proponent for the Green Revolution. Over to you, Azan.
Hey there. Glad to be here. Let's roll up our sleeves and dig into this.
Yeah, great. Let's just dive in, all right? What's your perspective on the legalization of marijuana, Azan?
Amit, it's crucial to understand that marijuana isn't just about getting high. It's about tapping into its medicinal potential. We're talking about a natural remedy for pain management, anxiety reduction, and even combating certain medical conditions. Moreover, legalization allows us to regulate the market, ensuring quality control and generating substantial tax revenue for public services.
A compelling agreement, indeed. Can you elaborate on the driving forces behind the increasing acceptance of marijuana legalization in the United States?
Absolutely. One key factor is education. People are becoming more and more informed about the science behind marijuana and its therapeutic properties. Take California, for instance. Governor Newsom's recent legislative moves have strengthened cannabis laws, making it easier for individuals to access and benefit from marijuana while implementing measures to protect workers' rights within the industry.
No, that's really fascinating. But what about the federal level? How do you see marijuana policy evolving on a national scale?
The federal conundrum. Despite strides made at the state level, marijuana remains classified as a Schedule I substance under the Controlled Substances Act, alongside drugs like heroin and LSD. However, hope is on the horizon. With proposed legislation such as the Cannabis Administration and Opportunity Act, this bill aims to decriminalize and regulate marijuana at the federal level, potentially opening up the floodgates for comprehensive reform.
Those are great insights, Azan. Looking ahead, what do you envision for the overall future of the marijuana movement in the United States?
The future is green, my friend. With continued advocacy and legislative action, we're on the brink of a paradigm shift. Picture a nation where marijuana is not only accessible, but embraced for its therapeutic benefits. Picture a society where individuals are no longer stigmatized for seeking relief through natural remedies. That's the vision driving the marijuana movement forward.
Oh yeah, a compelling vision indeed, Azan. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us today. Your insights have shed light on a complex and evolving issue. And to our viewers, thank you for tuning in to Onion News with your host, Tucker Carlson, where we explore the headlines with a dash of humor and a dollop of insight. Until next time, this is Tucker Carlson signing off.